I wanted to do a quick tutorial on how to cut down lightsaber blades. Yesterday I got through the post my Ultrasabers Flamberge, which is amazing. However, at 5'7" and being a fairly small build, it's, to be honest, a bit too much of a beast for me. And the main problem I'm having at the moment are the quillons. I ordered the shortest length that Ultrasaber sells, which is 6 inches, but the reality of it is it's just too much for me. So what I've done is I've cut down, or I am cutting, in the process of cutting down the quillons. So this is now 4 inches. This is the original 6-inch piece, and I thought I'd cover what I did. So first off, I've marked up, I don't know if you can see that, there's a small red line there of where the pipe cutter needs to cut, and I've just got a plumber's pipe cutter. It takes a while, so please bear with me. The important thing to remember when you cut the blades is if you do this, try and do it quickly, you're going to distort the blade, and then you're going to damage the diffusion film inside, which is this stuff. It's quite gentle. So the important thing is to take your time and just do it very slowly. So before I do anything, I'm just going to gently mark where I need to cut, and then slowly start cutting the blade. So what you're going to do is, with the pipe cutter, you are literally just cutting the polycarbonate blade. I think that's what it's called. This is mid-grade. I normally buy Ultra Edge blades. This is my first mid-grade blade, and they've got pointed tips, which is awesome. It gives you that evil Sith Lord Kylo Ren style. But you're just going to cut the plastic, and you're not going to try and cut the diffusion film with the pipe cutter, because if you do that, what will happen is it will just ruckle the diffusion film inside the blade, and it will really show when you light up. So apologies for how long this is taking. I don't want to damage these. Anyone thinking about getting a Flamberge, do it. They are awesome. In all transparency, they're not the easiest sabers to wield, but just practice with it, you know. I'm getting there. Right, that's done. Okay, so you see it's just cut through. I'm just going to push the plastic off. Now, when I've cut down blades previously, I've used a very sharp craft knife to do so. However, I did struggle on how short that is, and I think it's just because there isn't much leeway there. But let me see if I can do it now. So the one thing I've learnt, which I thought was a really good tip, is when you cut the film, cut it as close to the blade as possible. Is that cutting? Yeah. And then, so I'm going to have to take it off the table to do this. Cut the film as close to the blade as possible, and then trim it off with some scissors, but make sure you're trimming it so any excess film that's on the blade falls away from the blade, not into the blade. So that's that cut off, and I've got a bit of a rough edge, so I'm just going to get some scissors, and I'm just going to trim that off a bit more. So if you trim it that way, all the crap will fall into the blade, which is bad. Just find the right scissors for this. That's it. Slowly trim it. Why won't it happen quickly when you're doing this? Right, and then you're left with a slightly rough edge. So just push the film back in as much as possible, and then with a lighter, you should do this in a well ventilated room. Don't do what I'm doing. Just wave the lighter gently across the plastic, and what it does is it here's one that I've done earlier, like Blue Peter. It just seals the film in, and the nice thing about that is it actually sticks the film to the end, but it doesn't damage the film at all, but it stops any bits from coming out and falling in, and it also stops the film from escaping from the blade when you take the blade out. So I will try and get these in as quick as possible. There's definitely a left and a right on these emitters, and I can never get the right one. Come on, I need like music when I do this. There we are. And I haven't tightened the emitters in, which maybe should have done. And I've bought a 40-inch, the main blade is 40 inches, which I love the look of, but it's so big on me. Unfortunately, I'll most probably have to cut those down as well. But look at that. So it's a much neater size. So the nice thing about this, I've done this with my Ultrasabers staff as well, is it means you can buy a longer blade. If in doubt, buy a longer blade and cut it down. You can't add to a shorter blade, but you can certainly trim it. So I hope that helps, and happy lightsabering. Thanks, bye.